I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs. It's Friday, so it's the last of our week of ideas for dessert, and we finish strong with the roll of a lifetime, or breakfast time at least, as we bake pecan cinnamon rolls with cream cheese frosting and deliver deliciousness worth waking up for. Here to help us make and bake is Alyssa Dominguez from Toffee to Go and More, a South Tampa dessert cafe whose website shares my philosophy. Life's too short to eat a bad dessert.
That's right.
I love that. Welcome to the Dinner DeeAs kitchen.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here because this is one of my favorites. Like, this is literally one of my favorites because Alyssa is here to share a pecan cinnamon roll recipe, which is joining the menu at Toffee to Go as they expand their opening hours to include mornings. And it's also something that you loved growing up as well.
Yeah.
This was like breakfast of champion here.
This was perfect, actually. I'm so excited to share these with people. I've been making them for my friends and family for the longest time. They're the most requested thing that I get from them, so.
I love it. From friends, family, and now viewers of Dinner DeeAs, what do we need to do first to get this going?
All right, so we start out with our milk. I've warmed it up in the microwave just for about 30, 40 seconds.
Okay, because that's going to take it to about what type of temperature you're looking for?
They're looking for about 110.
Okay, so you don't want it too hot, you don't want it cold right out of the refrigerator.
Just kind of like warm bath water is the best description that I have for it.
Sounds good to me. I think everyone knows what that feels like. What do we need to do next with it then?
So we're going to be adding our yeast. This is active yeast. You can get this at the grocery store in little packets. It's about 2.5 teaspoons in each packet, so just one packet.
One packet.
And then we're going to add our white granulated sugar.
Okay.
This is something for the yeast to kind of feed on. So it enjoys the sugar, it enjoys the warm environment, and that's going to create it the perfect recipe basically for it to bubble up and become active.
Very cool, because to bake a batch of your own cinnamon rolls, we have Alyssa's recipe to download and print at dinnerdeeas.com. Use your phone to find us without typing a single letter by opening the camera app to scan the QR code in the corner of the screen. Just get that box and frame as if you're about to take a photo, and a link to us should appear on your phone. All right, so while this waits and just does its thing, what can we do next?
So we are going to start on the cream cheese frosting, just to get it out of the way. So we've got our cream cheese already in a bowl.
Okay.
I'm going to add the unsalted butter that I had measured out before. Perfect. All right, so we've got our cream cheese frosting, we've got the softened butter.
Okay.
And then we're just going to go ahead and beat it together to combine them. Once you've broken up the lumps, we're going to slowly add the powdered sugar.
Okay.
You don't want a powdered sugar explosion in your face.
Okay.
Speaking from experience.
So you've done it before. You dumped it all in, and it just went everywhere.
Exactly.
And before you knew it, it was just like a tidal wave of just white everywhere.
Learn from my mistakes. Learn from many people's mistakes.
All right.
So we're going to add in, this is about 2 cups. Go slow so it doesn't explode. And then when you start seeing the sugar and the butter and the cream cheese starting to combine a bit more, then you can add the rest in.
Now, let me ask you this. Like, we're using powdered sugar, and that's that. But sometimes, like, people might think, oh, why can't I just use granulated sugar? What would happen? What would be...
Well, unless you want a super gritty frosting, powdered sugar is going to be your best bet. I've had friends who are not super experienced with baking use granulated sugar before because they thought it would be the same thing, and
it's not.
It's not an enjoyable experience.
No, it's like because like that's not what I need.
That's not what I want on my cinnamon roll.
No. So confectioner powdered sugar, that's the way to go, is what you're saying. All right.
Absolutely. So once the sugar is fully combined, you can start to see it's kind of getting smoother now. Still thick, but we have time to whip it. We're going to be adding the vanilla extract that I have here.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Good. All right. And then finish her up. And you're going to whip this for about 1 to 2 minutes until it lightens up. You'll see the color actually change.
Very cool. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we go from frosting to filling. Ahead, Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs, where we have an idea for breakfast today as we finish up dessert week with a pecan cinnamon roll. Thanks to Alyssa Dominguez from Dessert Cafe, Toffee to Go, and more. Before the break, we started the dough, warming some milk in the microwave, then combining with sugar and yeast, and let that sit while we made our frosting, mixing together softened butter and cream cheese with powdered sugar and then vanilla extract. So what do we need to do next then?
We're starting with our softened butter.
Okay.
We're going to be adding our brown sugar. Light or dark is fine.
Okay. So it looks like this is light. So you prefer light then?
Yes. We have a couple tablespoons of cinnamon. I like mine with a lot of cinnamon. These are cinnamon rolls.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the whole warm and cozy part. Exactly. Like, just like fills you with like just joy.
And then the bit of salt.
Okay.
And then we're just going to mix it together with our hand mixer until it combines and it's smooth, and that's what we're going to be spreading on the inside of our dough.
Very cool. And how does that salt help with the sugar? Like, what does it do for it?
Salt is my favorite thing to add to desserts because I feel like if it's too sweet, it's way too much. Okay. So the salt kind of balances it.
Okay.
And it accentuates any kind of flavor that's already in there. Just get a spatula. See how it kind of spreads a bit?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to be.
That's that paste-like consistency that you're looking for.
That is the paste.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. And then we're ready for once we roll out our dough.
Oh, all right. But before we even get that part, now we got to actually work on the dough.
We do.
It's so tempting not just to go for both of these right now and be like, oh, I want it. All right. So what's next?
So our yeast, our milk, yeast and sugar mixture has been sitting.
It's super frothy now.
It is super frothy. That's how we know our yeast is alive and well and ready to make some nice dough.
Okay.
So we're going to add this to the bowl of a stand mixer. Just go ahead and pour that in. Might look a little unsettling at first, but it all comes together in the end.
It all comes together. Okay.
Okay. So then the next thing that we're going to need is our eggs and a little bit of softened butter.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. Okay. And then also the butter, which I just use my spatula.
I got your spoon here.
Every time, sorry.
No, don't be at all.
Okay, so we're going to put the butter in there. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. And then I like to break up the egg yolks just so it's one less thing to be combined with the mixer. So once those are kind of mixed in, it's okay if the butter is still in a lump. That's okay.
Okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and put it there. Add our flour. So. Basically what you're looking for here is when you're starting to stir it together, it'll form almost like a shaggy dough ball.
Okay.
That's the stage that we want to get it to.
A shaggy dough ball. Like,
yeah.
What does that mean?
Just pretty much, it's not completely like this perfectly smooth dough yet, but you've just combined the ingredients so that you save a lot of time, but the mixer doesn't have to get this like started for you. So we're going to just bring it together. You can see like the liquid and the flour is starting to lump together. That's what you want.
Okay, so that's kind of getting shaggier now.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the shagginess. Okay.
So keep going. Once we get it to about here, now I'm thinking, okay.
It's almost giving you a little bit more resistance now.
Exactly.
So that's really when it's like, okay, hey, I've done my hard part, the forearms, I've given them a good workout, but I think the stand mixer will do the rest for me.
Yes, you can do it by hand. I have done it by hand several times.
Okay.
It would just take a bit longer.
A little bit more.
Little elbow grease. But that's about it.
But how long will it now take with the mixer?
Half the amount of time that it would if you were doing it by hand.
Okay. And to grab the recipe for these pecan cinnamon rolls so your house can smell like the Dinner DeeAs kitchen, find it at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code to find us with your phone and follow along as we bake.
There she goes.
And there she goes. And we just can let this be for a little bit while it just kind of incorporates everything.
You'll see the dough will start to cling to the dough hook, and it'll pull away from the sides of the bowl, and that's how you know you're on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah.
we're going to be on the right track while we let the stand mixer do its thing and get the dough done. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, Alyssa shares her expert tips on rolling up our cinnamon rolls ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs, or rather our final dessert dia, as we wrap up our week of sweet treats with cinnamon rolls. All thanks to our guest today, Alyssa Dominguez from South Tampa Dessert Cafe, Toffee to Go, and more, where this is brand new on their menu as they extend their opening hours to mornings. Before the break, we made our filling, combining butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, a little salt, then got our dough done, mixing the milk, sugar, and yeast with eggs and butter, then our flour, combining it first by hand, then letting the stand mixer finish it up, getting into a rolled ball, then into a grease bowl to let it sit in a warm place, such as maybe, well, my heart, and let it sit there for about half an hour to double in size, and it's done just that.
It has.
Okay.
We're ready to go.
We're ready to actually start bringing this together.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, here's a risen dough. It only takes about half an hour, but
Okay.
you really want it to be doubled in size. I'm gonna take the plastic.
So
wrap
double in
off.
size for double the portion, double the heart, double the whole like joy that this is gonna bring.
Exactly. You get it. You really do.
You will too, my friend. All right, what do we got to do with it?
So we're gonna take a little bit of flour and whatever surface you're choosing to work on. I'm gonna work on this board. You're gonna dust it with a bit of flour, just so that the dough doesn't stick when you're rolling it out. That is like the saddest thing to happen.
Yeah, you've worked so hard, you've waited, the preparation for this, the excitement, and then
now
it starts sticking. And no, you don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this out. Okay. Oh yeah. And the next thing you're gonna want to do is to dust just the top with a little bit more flour, just to
Okay.
make sure it doesn't stick. I do have a rolling pin here. Again, no sticking. We're not having anything stick.
No, you want all of the cinnamon roll.
You do, you do. And we're basically just gonna roll this out to a rectangle shape.
Okay.
It's about 12 by 15 or so. Typically, people will encourage you to roll from the center out. That's the way that I've always been taught. So we got our brown sugar filling. Gonna go ahead and pop this on here. And then if you want here, you can take this spatula, help me
Okay.
spread it.
I'd
and
love to.
We're gonna leave about half of an inch around the
Okay.
edge. There's no graceful way to do this.
There is no graceful way, so just kind of.
Just smear it the best you can. We're gonna just get it just the edges, just like that. And then one thing that I like to do with my cinnamon rolls is I like to add pecans for a little crunch.
A little crunch, okay.
Texture is a huge thing for all desserts, so we're gonna be adding that afterwards. Very nice. Put that off to the side.
So cool.
Yeah? Okay, pecan time.
Pecan time.
You wanna do the honors?
Like, so we're just gonna go all over.
We're just going all over. We're gonna evenly spread our pecans. I did chop them beforehand. I think
Okay.
it's easier to cut the rolls because they're already chopped.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I love pecans because my favorite ice cream is butter pecan.
Really?
So like this is like, you know, giving you that texture that you're talking about. Like, I'm already ready.
Just a little bit of crunch.
Just that little bit. It breaks up some of that, like what's going to be just the warm and gooey, which
Oh, yeah.
is necessary and needed for this. But like I can see why you add the pecans just to kind of go. All right, is that good?
That's perfect.
That's good distribution.
All right, now the best part. Everyone's favorite part. The rolling of the actual
rolling.
cinnamon roll.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna reshape a rectangle just a little bit. Make sure she's not sticking.
Okay.
And then we're gonna take on the long edge.
Okay.
Because we're gonna make a good sized dough log. You're gonna just wanna roll it
Okay.
fairly tight,
Fairly tight.
and just go all the way down, kind of pinching it with your fingers and turning it inward.
Okay.
We're gonna keep going all the way down. And then you can always come back, roll
Okay.
it, tuck it more, all the way up pretty much.
All the way up.
Yeah. Or you want half?
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
I'd love to.
Here, let me tuck that in. Okay. So just like a roll and a tuck.
Roll and a tuck.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna just do that all the way up. Okay.
Nice.
Perfect.
To roll your own cinnamon treats, grab Alyssa's recipe at dinnerdeals.com. Just scan the QR code down there to find us fast.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm pushing it in the sides like how you should
That
before.
is, yeah.
So that way then it doesn't spread out because you want to make sure that that filling is going to be all in.
We want nice, big cinnamon rolls. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now at this point, I have to pinch the seams.
Okay.
So right where we finish wrapping the dough, I'll bring it closer. There is that line of that last bit of dough. So I'll pinch it together just to get it to stick a little bit more. And then we're gonna.
And that is purposeful so it keeps its form so that way then when you do a slice.
So it doesn't just fall
It
apart
doesn't just
on
fall
you
apart
and
for you.
kind of like turn into like a snail shape.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, pinch that. And then I like to let it sit on the seam as
Okay.
I'm reshaping it into more of like a thicker log.
Okay.
Okay, so we're there. Now you can make this into 8 cinnamon rolls, 10 cinnamon rolls, 12 cinnamon rolls, whatever pan you have. We're gonna be using a 10-inch cake pan.
Okay.
So I have been cutting them into 8, and I'll make extra large cinnamon rolls because I think that's the best way to go.
Okay.
So when you're scoring it, if I'm making 8, I'm gonna go half,
Okay.
half, and then half again. And these are gonna be pretty large rolls, just so you know.
Okay. I think we're going to be okay. I think you're going to be okay too, folks. You deserved it. Okay, it's Friday. The weekend's upon us.
Okay. If you want, we're gonna also prepare a pan. Do you wanna spray the pan?
I'd love to.
Perfect. And I'm gonna get these cut. And serrated knife is best. We're cutting through the dough and you want, just let the knife do the work, really.
Okay.
So don't push down on it, more of like a sawing motion. And then once you've got your sprayed pan,
Okay.
we're gonna set them up. So one in the center and the rest
One in
go
the center
around
then?
Yep.
Okay.
And the rest are gonna go on the sides. And we'll just keep going till we're done. There you go.
And you know what? Well, we're still slicing that one up. We did one from earlier here. Because these need to sit too.
They do.
Like, to show the difference, these ones have been sitting and they're still proofing and starting to still kind of get even bigger with even, you could see the cavities here.
They fill out. You have to rest it for about 50 to 20 minutes. If you haven't preheated your oven yet, usually people will preheat their oven while they're waiting for this to
This is that kind of that moment.
rise
So
again.
375, 350, what are you looking for?
So if you have a convection option on your oven, I'll bake it at 350 because
Okay.
convection is just naturally, it's got fans going.
Moving that air.
So it's hotter inside of the oven for your rolls. If you don't have convection, I can just do conduction regular bake. 375 is where you want it.
Sounds good.
And it's gonna bake for about 20 to 25 minutes.
Now, you like to add cream to this too.
I do.
Yeah? What does the cream do for you?
So the cream is gonna bake inside the pan, and as all that butter and sugar is dripping from the bottom of the cinnamon rolls, it's gonna caramelize it.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and just pour it over here. Dip it on top of everything. Okay. Perfect.
I would say it's perfect. But now comes the hardest part of this whole recipe. It's waiting. So we're gonna take one last break, pop these into the oven, and let you see how they turn out when we come back ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz and the last of our dessert week specials. And today is very special as we've been baking cinnamon rolls with our guest baker, Alyssa Dominguez from South Tampa Dessert Cafe, toffee to go, and more. And the final touch is that cream cheese frosting that is just bringing it all together. Oh, look at that one right there. Now,
There we
is
go.
there a proper way to, like, I see a fork and knife. I mean, I've been always accustomed, like, you know, just go right in. But
I mean,
is there a proper way to do this?
Whatever you feel in your heart is the best way to do it. Is the way to go.
Okay, so that means enjoying it bite for bite with maybe a fork and knife, so there's less cleanup.
That's my preference, but you know.
Oh yeah.
How'd we do?
The little kid in me comes out right now in this one. There's so much happiness behind this. It's soft and it's gooey. There's a tang behind the cream cheese. You've got all those warm flavors that just fill you with just comfort. Brown sugar. You've got cinnamon. Like, it's just, oh, it's so good. Like,
Yay. I'm
in love with this, but I mean, you eat these all the time. Like, what do you think of it?
I love these cinnamon rolls. This is my favorite recipe that I make on the daily, and I've never been upset after eating these. Truly.
So, like, you're giving everyone the permission that this is the perfect breakfast now to have.
Absolutely.
All right, you heard it here, folks.
And if you don't feel like making them, you can always stop by our shop on Beta Bay
Just like
Boulevard.
that. I like that
I'll
too.
make them for you.
Thanks again to Alyssa Dominguez. Her recipe is ready and waiting for you at dinnerdeas.com, along with a link to Talk You to Go and more, where these are new on that morning menu. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching. See you next time with more ideas for dinner, or as we call them, Dinner Dias.
Yeah.